Breaking the News with Des Clark.
Des Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. And once again, we're joined by some of the best stand-up comedians on the circuit. On my right, we have Lucy Porter and Raymond Mearns, and up against them are Alistair Beckett-King and Susan Riddle. In the news this week, James Cameron's plans to attend the Hollywood premiere of his film Avatar: The Way of Water were scuppered after the director caught COVID. Following official guidance, Cameron self-isolated for 5 days and was then able to catch the second half of the movie. It's been announced that scientists have made a game-changing breakthrough that could one day mean access to limitless clean energy. All you need is 3 metres of copper wire and access to your neighbour's garage. And France will face Argentina in the World Cup final. It's proved controversial as England fans have to decide who they dislike least. Right, you've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one. This is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Lucy and Raymond, can you tell me what the first story in the mashup is?
Ice and fog
have once again hit the buffers as a result of the latest strike
in Braemar.
It's after they rejected
15 Celsius
over 2 years from the Central Belt. The Transport Secretary at Westminster, Mark Harper, insists
Aberdeenshire
has been offered a fair and reasonable deal.
There's some strikes. Apparently, people are refusing to work.
Well done. Right answer. Yes, it is the news that a number of strikes are taking place in the run-up to Christmas. Rail workers, Royal Mail employees and driving examiners have all walked out, with nurses in England, Wales and Northern Ireland holding the biggest strike in NHS history. Yes, there have been some bitterness in England towards the strikers, mainly Harry Kane. So there we go, Raymond. You got it right. Of course, it is all the strikes going on. What sort of impact do you think the strikes will have?
Well, apparently Royal Mail are now using couriers. I mean, imagine, thank God Santa and the elves aren't having any strikes, because how bad would that be, waking up on Christmas morning and there's nothing under the tree? But they've had to obviously use a courier, and then so next door are playing with your Wayne's toys.
Alistair, it affects all of us. What's your take on this? What sort of impact do you think the strikes will have?
My question is, are train conductors and orchestra conductors in the same union? Because I'd love it if they were like, I'm with the London Philharmonic, nice to meet you, Avanti West Coast. I'd just love it if there was solidarity there. But because I think there has been mismanagement of the rail networks, and the starkest example of that is they've stopped calling them train conductors, ruining a perfectly serviceable joke I just told. And now they call them train guards. Why do they call them? What are they? I'll tell you one thing, if you're on a train and you say, guards, seize him, they do nothing. They're not guards.
Mick Lynch has been prominent, certainly front-facing in a lot of this. What have you made of Mick Lynch's role in all of this?
I saw something, because, you know, obviously they're trying to turn us against him, and they're sort of saying, like, as if we're going to be upset that he's rude to Richard Madeley. We'd all love to be rude to Richard Madeley. We live for that stuff.
Popularity went up several notches.
The latest thing is they're going, he's just doing it for attention, he just wants to be famous. It's like, there are easier ways to get famous than be the leader of a major union in one of the worst economic climates there's ever
he could
been.
have an OnlyFans page.
He could. I'd subscribe.
Or is that a page? You don't have an OnlyFans page, do you? What do you do?
Oh, don't pretend you don't.
I don't know.
What do you think about this then, Susan? Have you seen much of Mick Lynch? What do you make of his role in all of this?
I fancy him. There's just something about integrity that does it for me.
There is something quite sexy, I think, about the sort of people who just get famous. They're just doing their job and then they get famous. With me, it's Jason Leach.
Oh, the clinical director.
Absolutely. It's the only reason I come to Scotland is I pop the telly on just hoping to catch a glimpse.
See that he's there.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
Jason, tell me how I can cope with the cold. Take me in your manly arms and warm me.
I will, but you have to wash your hands first. Alistair, what do you make of Mick Lynch and his role in what's been happening?
I think Mick Lynch, they've compared him to the Grinch, which I think is outrageous. So I've contacted Dr. Seuss for a statement on that. And so I'll just read that now. Mick Lynch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be perhaps that the workers were right. It could be inflation made finances tight. But I think the most likely reason of all may have been management's refusal to rule out compulsory redundancies.
That's remarkable, mate. I think the most remarkable thing is that you contacted a doctor and got through to him. Well done. Yeah, there we go. The festive season strikes is the correct answer. Lucy and Raymond, well done. You get 2 points for that. Now to you, Alistair and Susan, what was the other story we were after?
It's freezing.
Right answer, well done, Susan. Yes, it is, of course, the big freeze with temperatures as low as -17 this week. Scotland has been hit by a cold snap and is set for its coldest December in over a decade. Yes, it's so cold, people in the Baltic region have been describing their weather as pure Scottish. Susan, you look like you're freezing now. How are you coping in the cold?
I'm all right. The way I cope is because when it gets quite dark and that, you can get quite depressed and get that sad thing, that seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
So I get a sad lamp. I don't know if you know what it is. It's just you plug it in and it just blasts like UV light into your face, which is quite alarming as a ginger person. I need to put on my factor before I do that. But it worked quite well for a while, and then I got my electricity bill in. Can't use it anymore, so feeling a bit down.
Aye, that's a very sad lamp, that. Alistair, what about you? We're talking about the big freeze. How are you coping in the cold?
Oh, not well. I tell you what I found chilling. I was reading about the blizzard on Shetland, and I mainly know Shetland through the TV show Shetland, which I'm a huge fan of. If you haven't seen it, it's a drama about a lot of actors from Edinburgh and Glasgow who go to Shetland and commit murders without ever really picking up the accent. It's very, very good. And so my approach to winter has been like my hero Jimmy Perez from Shetland, which is what he does is the angrier he gets, the quieter he gets. So I'm angry right now, Snow, but I'm not afraid of you. I'm angry, but I'm quiet. Like I'm no far away from you now. I'm angry. So
Wow.
that's how I'm approaching it.
Lucy, what about it then? -17 we had this week. How are you coping in the cold?
Well, I'm all right, but I was doing a gig in Newcastle yesterday and someone had put a coat on.
Normally it doesn't bother me, but I've started to shut the doors.
Amazing you've closed the doors. I actually did something very clever. So do you remember in the summer where we had the heat wave in August? I got some Tupperware and trapped some of that hot air. I'm going to open that up when I get home for a treat. Oh, yeah.
Raymond, I'll leave the last word on this to you. What are your top tips for keeping warm?
Flying to Tenerife.
Can't argue with that. Yes, bookmakers have slashed the odds for Buckingham Palace to have a white Christmas, especially if Lady Susan Hussey's in charge of the invitations. Well done, Alistair and Susan. You get 2 points for that. It was the mashup of the cold snap, an unprecedented strike action, and at the end of that round, it's all square. Now, much of our news is about public opinion, so to find out what people are talking about this week, we've spoken to a couple of stars from hit BBC comedy Two Doors Down. We'll hear from Alex Norton, who plays the long-suffering Eric, and Joy McAvoy, who plays Michelle. So, Alistair and Susan, you're up first. What story do you think Alex is on about here?
I'm going to have lots of people coming round to celebrate it, and the body heat will save me turning on the electricity, and we'll all be nice and cosy and warm. It's been a very, very difficult year. In fact, more than a year. And although it's going to prove problematic with transport and visiting and all that, I think it'll be an event worth remembering.
Christmas Day.
Okay, yeah, enough clues in there. Well done to you for getting that right. Of course, yes, post-pandemic and with a number of worries hanging over people, from strikes to the cost of living crisis, there have been warnings that this year's Christmas could be more stressful than ever. Alistair, are you looking forward to Christmas this year?
Yeah, we're having a traditional GB News Christmas in our house, lamenting the birth of woke social justice warrior Jesus Christ, who hated Britain and never wore a poppy. You never see him wearing a poppy. The table will be laden with gammon, no sprouts because we don't like Brussels. And there'll be no jokes in the crackers because you literally can't say anything these days.
What about you, Susan Riddle? Are you looking forward to Christmas this year?
Well, last Christmas I actually got COVID on Christmas Day and I had to isolate on my own. So I did. It was brilliant. So it was the best Christmas present anyone could have ever given me. It was. Do you know what I done? I just spent the whole day just getting absolutely hammered on white wine and binge watching A Place in the Sun. It was great, so it was. Then I was just pondering, like, for the rest of the day, like, do people in Spain, do they watch the equivalent? Like, do they watch programmes like A Place in the Pelting Rain? I just wanted to... So that was my Christmas last year, and it just can't be beaten.
What do you think, Lucy? I don't know if you get too stressed out about these things, but for you, what's the most stressful thing about Christmas?
I suppose it is trying to make it nice for the kids, I always think, is kind of... Because, you know, you want it to be magical and special, and then you have to go and see their nativity plays. That's always a stress, isn't it? Because, oh, God, it's a good story, but, you know... Could they not mix it up a bit? Just like, you know, this year do, I don't know, Muppet Christmas Carol or Die Hard. If the kids did Die Hard, that would be better than...
You would go, yeah, watch that.
Well, I don't want to leave the deckies up in case I get bad luck. I stress about that.
What?
You know, if you leave the deckies up after the 5th of January, is it the 5th of January? And I sit there with feelings of impending doom because I'm a very lazy person. And I think, oh no, I've got to take these down. It's one thing to put them up, but you've got to kind of take them back down. I don't like wasting it, and I'm a bit tight. And it's like the leftovers, making sandwiches after 4 days. And stuff's got a beard on it and all that.
My favourite thing is to just take a wee walk round my bit and judge people's Christmas decorations. You can tell a lot by a person with a Christmas decorations, can't you? Right, I've wrote some of them down here. If they've got a collapsible tree with baubles attached, that's a recently divorced da. If it's a white tree, they almost certainly host sex parties. And if it's a red tree, they just dabble in the dark arts. Things like that.
Yes, we were talking about Christmas and the fact that maybe it's stressful for certain people. And if you think you're having a stressful Christmas period, spare a thought for the pilot of the Boeing 747 that had to dodge Harry Kane's penalty in the World Cup. And there we go. Warnings about a stressful Christmas is the right answer. 2 points goes to Alistair and Susan. Right to you, Lucy and Raymond. What do you think Joy is talking about here?
I just don't know how it's ever going to match the same energy as the artist being in the same room as you. It could maybe work if it was absolute legends that weren't with us anymore, like maybe Elvis or Amy Winehouse or David Bowie. But then I also think that they would need to be alive to film it properly so it looks like they're really on stage.
Is it holographic pop stars?
Yeah, it is indeed that. That's right. After the huge success of ABBA Voyage earlier this year, a number of other ageing superstars, such as the Bee Gees, Cher and Metallica, are now reportedly looking into putting on their own hologram-based shows. Holograms work by taking something that's 2D and making it appear three-dimensional, like the PR team does for Sir Keir Starmer. Go on then, Lucy. What do you think about this? ABBA has been such a success. Would you pay to see a hologram?
You know, being in a room with a hologram. I mean, in some ways, it's the safest way to be with a lot of stars of the 70s. But also, it's like just having the pop stars. Like, if you can do anything with this technology, why not have, I don't know, like Pope John Paul II singing the songs of Cher?
Oh, that'd be great.
would
Do you
fake to
believe in life after death? Yeah. What about you, Susan? Would you pay to see a hologram?
No, because they're doing it with a lot of like older performers like ABBA and all that. And I think half the fun of going to see like older performers is to see if they might drop dead in the middle of the concert. Or at least like pull a muscle or break a hip or something, I don't know. Just adds a wee bit of jeopardy.
I love that. That's why you go and see them. Raymond, I know that you have seen many great acts live. Talk us through the most memorable gig you've ever been to.
Oh, Rolling Stones, Hampden Park, 1990.
Really?
Unbelievable, man. And they were only 60-odd at the time. Before they get really old. I thought they were holograms. You could see through their skin, you know. By a country mile, and I've seen loads of amazing artists and acts, but the Stones blew me away.
Alistair, for you, what's the most memorable gig that you've ever been to?
It was a Dolly Parton gig that I wasn't at. Do you remember she did Glastonbury a few years ago? So I was performing at Glastonbury doing comedy in a massive, like 1,000 capacity tent, which sounds like a brag, but the key word is capacity. Because I was on at the same time as Dolly Parton on the main stage, so I performed to literally 3 people. I don't know how I can describe this at this time of day. They were substance enthusiasts. And the only thing that makes that experience sadder is just being able to hear Dolly Parton say, "What a way to make a living."
I love it. More performers considering hologram shows is the right answer. And 2 points goes to Lucy and Raymond. You're tuned to Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who is in the news. So I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So Lucy and Raymond, you're up first this time. Who is this?
We, of course, have a higher proportion of men in politics. It's reality. Because 2 women meet, it's not simply because of their gender.
Jacinda Thingamabob.
Jacinda
Ardern. The New Zealand Prime Minister or President or something.
Yeah, it's New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, who's been forced to apologise after she was caught on microphone insulting an opposition MP in Parliament. Something they call a hot mic situation. Hot mic is either a microphone that's been left on without the speaker knowing, or Paisley's top male stripper. What do you think about it, Lucy? Obviously heard on microphone saying something unsavoury about an opposition MP.
You should have heard what I was saying about you before this.
Do you think, Alistair, that politicians have to be more careful with their language?
Could you ask me that question again, and I'll answer it like a politician on Question Time?
OK, let's do that. Alistair, do politicians...
Well, if you let me finish, Des, I let you speak. So please allow me to have my say. I've made my position very clear vis-à-vis the answer, and with regard to the question, the Prime Minister has made numerous statements to the effect that questions must be asked, questions must be answered, and indeed answers must be questioned. And then exactly half the audience applauds.
Yeah.
That's right, just the thick ones.
Yeah, my favourite was Dennis Skinner. Do you remember he said half of the MPs across there are thieving scum, and the Speaker says, you can't say that, you have to take that back. He says, OK, half of the MPs opposite are not thieving scum. Or something like that. That's what he's saying.
Susan, what do you make of this incident then?
It just made me think about how much a wee human hot mic I was when I was a kid. Just one example being my mum's pal phoned Sandra, but there was two Sandras, right? And the way that we distinguished between them was supposed to be like a secret. But I just shouted, "Mum, fat Sandra's on the phone." It reminded me of that.
Be honest, Alistair, have you ever said something that you shouldn't have?
Yes, I have. I was walking home many years ago, and a youth accosted me, and he said, "Oi, mate, do you use GHD?" And so there are two pieces of information you need to know to understand that. One is that I have luxurious hair. just incredible. You can't imagine it. And the other is that GHD is a range of hair products, like it stands for Good Hair Day or something. And I didn't know that. So when the kid said, "Oi, mate, do you use GHD?" I said, "I use all the letters in the alphabet." He said, "Are you trying to be clever?" I said, "I'm not really trying." And he chased me for quite a while, so I should not have said that.
Yes, 2 points go to Lucy and Raymond. That was indeed New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. Right to you, Alistair and Susan. It's your turn. Who is this and why are they in the news?
I'm saying she's amazing because in basically under a week, she managed to get someone who just dances just at weddings to what we produce.
Is that Hamza Yassin?
Indeed, wildlife photographer and TV presenter Hamza Yassin, who's the hot favourite to win Strictly Come Dancing this weekend. Hamza's extensive wildlife knowledge has sometimes been a hindrance in Strictly, though, like when they told him to try a foxtrot. He danced into somebody's garden and tore open the bins. Lucy, what do you think? If you caught Strictly this year, would you be pleased to see Hamza win it?
Yes, I have seen bits of it since the beginning, and he came on as the one nobody really knew, and he's just gorgeous, and he doesn't look, he's not a bodybuilder, but he looks like someone who works at Quick Fit, but obviously that camera equipment, obviously the BBC wildlife camera equipment weighs the same as an adult Polish woman. I think it's incredible. He's got this amazing upper body strength. He just twirls around like a sort of majorette with a baton or whatever. And I would love to be twizzed round. That's my dream. Jason Leach, when he's on Strictly, I volunteer as tribute to be twizzed round like a baton by him. But he's great. I think he's absolutely brilliant, Hamza.
Yeah. Now, you might have seen it. Hamza revealed a wee bit more than he might have liked during the semi-final whilst dancing the Charleston in a kilt. So, have you ever suffered a wardrobe malfunction?
I have a Christmassy answer, actually.
Oh.
I met my girlfriend when she was 6. We were both children in doing a nativity play about the birth of baby Jesus. She was Mary and I was Joseph, which I was assured was the main character. He's not. He's hardly in it. And basically, the staples holding my toga in place came loose, and it was not just flocks those shepherds were watching.
Susan Riddle, have you ever suffered a wardrobe malfunction?
I've not suffered one, but I've witnessed the best one ever. Or worse. I used to be a beauty therapist, and I would do like spray tans on people, and this old woman came in to get her spray tan done with like her daughters and that. So what you would do is you would tell them to get undressed, and then you'd give them like a wee pair of paper pants and just say put them on so that they're on pants when they get all spray tan. Anyway, I let her get ready and I came back in the room and she'd put the paper pants on her head. She thought it was a wee hairnet, and I never had the heart to tell her. So
Raymond Mearns, have you ever suffered a wardrobe malfunction?
Sort of. It's an age thing, innit? Light-coloured trousers are just a no-no. for contented elderly gentlemen. You know that way? When you think it's all out, no, there's no. There's still half a litre up there waiting. Waiting for the zip to go up. Then you need to stay in the lavvy for 18 months.
What a lovely mental image for us to round up that question on. Yes, Twinkle-toed Hamza Yassin is the right answer, and 2 points goes to Alistair and Susan. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
Mariah Carey likes a sausage roll.
That's newsreader Clive Myrie there, revealing what Mariah Carey really wants for Christmas. Greggs. OK, fingers on buzzers, teams. Here we go. 76% of working-age Scots are what? Susan?
Pensioners.
Brilliant answer. Let's keep it going. 76% of working-age Scots are what? Lucy?
Still enjoying the fact that England were knocked out of the World Cup.
76% of working-age Scots are what? Alistair?
In favour of a referendum on whether John Barrowman is really Scottish.
That needs to happen soon. 76% of working-age Scots are what? Raymond?
Gone on strike this winter.
What a callback. Almost deserves a point for that, Mearnsey. But it's not quite the answer from this week's news. Lucy?
Is it in employment?
It's the right answer. Yeah. Well done, Lucy Porter. Yes.
Mariah Carey likes a sausage roll.
Oh, there we go. That's the klaxon. Clive has married, meaning it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Raymond Mearns and Lucy Porter. And commiserations to Susan Riddle and Alistair Beckett-King. And we'll leave you with the breaking the news. Breaking news, just in. An exasperated motorist blocked by Just Stop Oil protesters on Wednesday in London was threatened with a fine for improper use of a horn. The horn was later removed by doctors in A&E. GPs in Northern Ireland are an endangered species, according to a senior doctor. Staff at Edinburgh Zoo have offered to help, as they reckon they'll have more luck than they did with the pandas. And it's been revealed that Boris Johnson has made over £1 million in speaking fees since resigning as Prime Minister. Liz Truss is also making money from speaking, although she's now getting a bit fed up of saying, "Welcome to Burger King." The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye!